What's up everyone, welcome back to more Reddit stories about Karens, crazy people, and all that kind of stuff. Hope you're all doing awesome today, and as usual, we'll be checking out some more Reddit posts. So feel free to share your thoughts about today's stories down in the comments, and we're getting right into it. Am I overreacting for refusing to lend my sister my dog for her aesthetic maternity shoot? I'm 26 female, and I have a golden retriever named Miso. He's 4, super sweet, and honestly the closest thing I have to a kid. I got him when he was a puppy and we're really attached. He doesn't do well with unfamiliar people or situations, and I try to avoid stressing him out unnecessarily. My sister, 31, is 7 months pregnant and planning this very curated maternity shoot with a photographer she found on Instagram. She sent me some sample photos and asked if she could borrow Miso for the shoot. Her exact words were, "He would complete the vibe. I want a soft golden hour family feel with a golden dog." I told her no. Not because I don't support her or whatever, but because Miso isn't a prop. He's a living, anxious animal, and he's never even met her photographer. Plus, she wanted to do it on a random field an hour away, without me there. She literally just wanted to pick him up, take the photos, and drop him back off. I offered to meet her at a park near me so she could take a few photos with both of us and Miso, but she said that ruined the visual. She was clearly irritated and said I was being selfish and overprotective of, quote, just a dog. Later our mom called and tried to gently nudge me to say yes, saying it's a small thing and would mean a lot to my sister. But it doesn't feel small to me. Miso is family, not decoration, and the fact that she got annoyed when I offered a compromise kind of says a lot. Now my sister isn't talking to me and my mom thinks I should apologize for making a big deal out of nothing. I honestly didn't think I was being dramatic, but now I'm second-guessing it. Am I overreacting? If OP isn't okay with it, then no means no, and it should just be left at that. It's not that complicated. And let's also point out the fact that this is not going to be a legitimate family photo shoot. It's going to be completely fake and staged, with the dog being a prop, probably for social media. So it doesn't even sound like it's a photo shoot for the sake of family memories or whatnot. Otherwise, she wouldn't care about getting a dog that isn't hers to be in the photos because his fur matches the sunset. Embarrassing my coworker by outing her as the one who keeps stealing my tea. So I, 28 female, work in a pretty chill office. We've got a shared kitchen area with a take one leave one vibe for snacks and drinks. People leave extra granola bars, packs of oatmeal, all that. Cool. But the unspoken rule is, if it's labeled, leave it alone. Anyway, I'm kind of a tea snob and I bring my own imported stuff from this place my grandma used to order from in the UK. I keep a little box of it in the kitchen cabinet with a big label on it that says, "My name's tea, please do not take." Except, someone's been taking it. Not just 1 or 2 bags. Half the box disappeared in a week. So I did what any mildly unhinged office girlie would do. I slipped a few decoy bags into the box and soaked the bags in fish sauce overnight, dried them, resealed the wrappers, waited. 2 days later, one of my coworkers, we'll call her Tina, 31 female, comes storming out of the kitchen gagging and asking if someone tampered with the tea. I stayed quiet until she said, "I don't know who buys that weird brand, but it tastes like a literal fish tank." And I said, "Oh, that's mine, the one with my name on it." She went pale, dead silent, and then mumbled something about not seeing the label. Now she's pissed, telling everyone I set her up and that it was a malicious prank, when all I did was booby-trap my own tea. HR hasn't said anything yet, but some people think I crossed the line. I didn't put anything dangerous in it, I just made it gross. And honestly, if you're gonna steal tea from a labeled box, you deserve the fishy consequences. Bounty hunters entered the wrong home. OP posted this in the legal advice subreddit. I live in California. 7 bounty hunters who were dressed like the SWAT team, who I thought were police the whole time, broke my bedroom window while I was asleep. Both window panes, including a bent outer screen, indicating that they pried the screen open before they broke the window, then came into my home against my will. They told me they were looking for someone with a name I hadn't ever heard. I don't know this person and have never seen them a day in my life. I then asked them to show me a picture and again told them I don't know who the hell that is and he doesn't live here. They told me that they're coming in regardless of whether I want them to, so we can do this the easy way or the hard way. This whole situation was so random and bizarre. It's 1 a.m. and I still can't get past what happened today. Still has me panicking with anxiety. I have glass in my foot, making it hard to walk since I have to limp, and just the sheer terror of initially thinking it was a burglar. They all treated me as if I were lying and hiding a boyfriend or something. They kept trying to trip me up in a lie, and I was so confused while they were using dumb police interrogation tactics. Only me and my 10-year-old child live here, and they broke his bedroom window, which was near my head when I fell asleep in his room, but thankfully no cuts in my face. Just my foot and almost my cat's paws. As they're storming my apartment, shouting for Larry so-and-so, they're asking me where my child is, what his name is, what his dad's name is, and his dad's address, and all kinds of crazy crap, trying to get all my personal info beyond my name that I gave them. I offered to show them my lease, my USPS informed delivery to show this person gets no mail here, and I told them there are cameras where they can easily see he has never been here and isn't inside. They didn't identify themselves to me, even knowing I kept referring to them as police, since I thought they were, but they finally said, "We're not police," but nothing else. I didn't know they were bounty hunters until someone told me they were after the fact. I wasn't given the ability to look at the arrest warrant either, to even verify that the address is my address. I looked up the person's info, who they're looking for, and it shows an address in another city. That is an apartment building, but it shows 5 different apartment numbers under his list of previous residences, which leads me to believe he lived at both complexes and gave all those random unit numbers out to obviously conceal his real address, since he likes to go on the run and not show up to court. They also lied and said that they broke one window pane, and failed to mention that they broke both, but also bent up the screen. They also lied and said that they provided their info, yet I don't know any of their names or what bail company they are, so I have no idea how to get my address removed. Otherwise, it'll be an endless cycle of them storming my home looking for a whole stranger. They said that they're paying for the window, so obviously they know they weren't within their right, otherwise they wouldn't be paying for it. This is criminal to me though, because how can they break through my window for someone they have never seen here? They didn't hear any voices either because I was asleep. I didn't have the TV on either. Now I'm left with my window still open at 1 in the morning because maintenance at my apartments never showed up, and I can't get this glass out of my foot. Sorry this was long and maybe kind of ranty, but thank you for reading all the way through and enlightening me on the law regarding this. The officer I called to make a report simply said, "I don't know anything about bounty hunter laws, so you'll have to call them to see what their policy is." As if a policy is above the law, and as if they're going to admit to me that they broke it. The police offered me no insight in regards to how I go about clearing this address issue up, so it doesn't happen in the future. They all keep saying to call the bail company, yet can't give me the name of it because they say they don't have it. Even if I did call them, how would they remove my address when I've already told them face to face that that person doesn't live here and that I don't even know them? I've already told them this and they don't believe me, so at the end of the day, police are refusing my report for them intentionally breaking the window, and they're not telling me how to prevent it in the future. Literally no one except DoorDash drivers and Uber drivers have my address. I've always been private about my home in general. I don't know why this person used my address, other than me assuming they're giving a fake address because they never planned on going to court, and don't want bounty hunters at their door. Police tell me that they, quote, broke the window civilly, so since there is no intent, it's not criminal. How the hell do you bend the screen door framing, then proceed to break both window panes in a, quote, civil manner? This is actually insane. And yeah, I don't know the first thing about how bounty hunters work, but I would assume that they don't have any more authority than a police officer would. And the top comment here points out, not even the police would have the right to forcibly enter your property under the circumstances described here. Call the police, report them for breaking and entering, and get in touch with a lawyer. Another comment says, call the police again. Demand to speak with the highest supervisor they have there, a lieutenant, captain, commander, or the chief. A report most certainly should be done. Report this to the apartment complex. In California, the Department of Insurance seems to be over bounty hunters, which are contracted by bail bondsmen. Sadly, it appears they don't need a license at this time. However, they are not allowed to forcibly enter into anyone's home. Yeah, that's one of the more irritating but also kind of hilarious things about this. is OP is trying to simply report it to the police and got a cop just talking out of his ass and saying vague stuff that doesn't even pertain to the law whatsoever, saying that they broke the window civilly. What does that even mean, and how does one break a window civilly? And this person also says bail agents require a license, but not the bounty hunter. That said, in California, the bail agent is also liable for the actions of the bounty hunter they contract or employ, to prevent rogue bail agents from encouraging this type of horror. My competitive friend was always insulting my wine, so I tricked him into sampling and insulting his own. During the pandemic, I started making wines, beers, and meads for my friends. At the time, we lived in a country where it was hard to get alcohol, and due to the virus, we were all locked out of our primary supplier for over a year. No one could get alcohol. So I started brewing again after a 15-year hiatus, supplying my community, so to say. Well, it really irked this guy that people would trade me things for my wines and meads. It also really drove him nuts that I knew how to malt and basically make beer from feed grain. No homebrew supply shops within 2,000 miles. So at every opportunity, he would just piss insults on my wine. And yes, it was simple country wine, but well crafted using local fruits. Clear, balanced, strong. Wapatui is what we used to call it back home. His wife would back him up. I always thought this was strange because I was delivering trunkloads of wine to my friends, and people would hardly ever touch his wine at parties. Anyway, we were having a sampling night, which is how I met most of my people. And in front of the whole room full of people, he pisses insults over this wine I'd poured. Well, I said, you made that one. I didn't want you to feel left out. They stayed 5 minutes max and shuffled out. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for today. Thank you for watching. As always, I do appreciate it. If you enjoyed, be sure to hit that like button, drop a comment down below, and subscribe if you haven't already. So take care, stay tuned for more, and I'll see you in the next one.